One of the biggest mistakes I made really early on in my reselling career, and I occasionally still make today, you guys, is pricing. I would either overprice items and they would sit for months or worse, even years, or I would underprice things and also I had no idea what I was paying for these things and they would sell super fast and I would lose money. Those are mistakes that I made very early on. If you are new here, I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing it for 17 years part-time, you guys. That is wild. So I've learned a lot about pricing along the way. Number one, you have to know how to check comps. I'm a mistake that I feel like I made for years. It is not how much can an item sell for. Like, that's not the name of the game for me in reselling. It's how fast can I sell this item? If I'm putting $10 into my reselling business for a jacket, how quickly can I flip that and double my money? That is what the name of the game is for me in reselling. So I always check sell-through rate, like 99% of the time. I did not check it with that Farm Rio top, but that's why I'm telling you, you guys, it is so important to check sell-through rate. So important. You can see from the demonstration in the computer how important it is. If you are buying things that no one wants, then you're just a buyer and you're not selling it. So that's why I check comps. I check sell-through rate on almost anything, especially brands I've never seen before, you guys. If it is a brand I've never seen before, I'm checking sell-through rate. Just because it looks good to me and it looks interesting doesn't mean it's going to sell. And this is just a mistake I made so often early on, you guys, and I just had stuff sit for years. My stores were just full of Forever 21 and Gap and Fashion Nova, and I was just buying it all because I could get it super cheap, but it was not selling. Now, this might be a little controversial tip to avoid this mistake, but I personally, I don't hoard stale inventory, you guys. I keep things for a year and then I start evaluating, okay, this jacket's been here a year. I have quite a bit of space. I have a 10 by 40 storage unit, but I don't have like a warehouse. So basically my storage unit is probably gonna max out once I get to like 2,000 listings. So I'm trying to be strategic about, I have limited space and I am trying to pull my money out as quickly as possible for my reselling business as I can. So if this has been here a year, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna relist? Are we going to donate? Am I going to send it off to consignment? You guys know, if you've seen any of my other videos, there are so many ways to resell. You can sell it to other resellers. You can do wholesale. You can send it to ThredUp or The RealReal. You can take it to consignment stores. So once an item has been in my inventory for a year, that's what I start thinking. Oftentimes the first step is to relist. And I use Vendoo to do that. I will leave my referral link down below. Not sponsored by Vendoo, but I do love them. They are the cross-posting site that I use. I start all my listings in Vendoo, and then I just share them out to the various different sites. So right now, I use Vendoo to post on eBay, Poshmark, and whatnot. So I create the listing in Vendoo and it shares it out, and then I can delist, relist, I can send offers through there. So I'll leave my referral link down below. If you use my code, you get 25% off your first month. So that's what I do, you guys. After a year, some of my friends are even more aggressive. Every 6 months, they're looking at things like, all right, I've had this for 6 months. One of my friends, she has over 10,000 listings. She's been selling on eBay. I talk about you guys to her a lot because she's kind of like my reselling mentor. She's been doing it for 20 years, you guys. She has no social media, no interest in social media, and she makes a killing reselling. But she's just awesome, and she is very ruthless with her inventory. She's going through it every 6 months, and if it has not sold, she's either getting rid of it or she's sending it off to consignment every 6 months. And I say that I still make these mistakes today because occasionally, you guys, I kind of get this like bravado, this ego, like, oh, I know what a Farm Rio top sells for. I'm just gonna pick it up even though my thrift store has it priced at $20. That is actually a mistake I made yesterday because I picked it up. My thrift store had it marked at $20. It was pre-owned, but I was just like, Farm Rio sells great across the board. That exact same top in Farm Rio recently just sold for $30 pre-owned. So even us seasoned resellers, you guys, we still need to check comps because everything fluctuates, you guys. Some brands, and a lot of you know this, even a lot of you newer resellers, you know, like some brands are very trendy and then they nosedive. And then some brands have a revival, like Coach. In my humble opinion, Coach has never fallen off. I have stayed in love with Coach since I was a child, but man, are they having a revival. Like people way younger than me, like I see teenage girls carrying Coach and they're very excited about it and it makes my heart happy. So Coach is like a brand that completely fell off in a lot of people's eyes, I think in many consumers' eyes, and now it's having like a revival. So this is why no matter how long you've been doing this, you guys, you have to check comps, because if you don't price your items properly, they're not going to sell. And this is a mistake that I made for years, you guys, for years. And I don't want that to happen to you. So I actually have a little cheat sheet here for my group members. Check the group, the Discord, because I'm going to turn this into a little resource guide that you guys can quickly reference. I'm going to start doing that with a lot of my videos. I'm going to create little guides because I love doing it. It's fun. And I'm going to upload it in the group. So if you're not part of the group, click the link down below, read about it, check it out. You can cancel at any time. I'm not trying to give you like a sales speech, but I just had this like this thought, like, why don't I just quickly create like a little guide, make this a cute little ebook and provide it to my group members. So the group is always linked down below. I call it my happy little corner of the internet. But number one, checking comps. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to go into the computer and we're going to check comps. Number two, competitive pricing strategy. So I always say, friends, I don't tell you how to run your business. I just tell you what I'm doing. And if it helps you in some way or you think you might want to try it, give it a try. But what I do is I have best offer on eBay. So all of my listings, people can send me an offer. And because I really do keep my cost of goods so low, I'm open to a lot of offers. Now, if someone sends me like I literally got an 80% off offer on an item before I started filming this video. That's not an offer I'm open to. The item was listed for $100. She literally sent me a $20 offer. Like, that's not something I'm interested in. 99% of the time, you guys, I will counter. It is very rare that I decline an offer unless it's something like that. Like, if someone's sending me an 80% off offer, oftentimes I'm like, are we ever gonna meet? But I still try to tell myself, girl, just counter. So I'll counter like $80. And occasionally, not often, we do meet and I get a sale. But most of the time, those people that are sending such aggressive offers, I don't. So a lot of my friends don't have offers on. They're like, I checked comps. I know what this item is currently selling for. I don't want an offer. Just pay me that $25.99 that it's listed for and that's it. But I have always accepted offers on eBay. So let me know in the comments down below. Do you guys accept offers or not? I think that really works. It could work for anyone, but it really works for me because, like I said, I keep my cost of goods so low. So I have a lot of wiggle room. And then I also send offers on Poshmark all day, every day, all the time. It's a very like friendly environment. That's just the culture over there. You know what I mean? It is very rare that I get a full price sale on Poshmark. It's usually me sending an offer to someone or they're sending an offer to me. That's just the vibe over there. So highly recommend using that if you think it would work with your business model, but you really do need to know your cost of goods. And I am also adjusting my prices monthly, you guys. And this is kind of a big task for me because I'm a one-woman show and I have over 1,000 listings. So I use tools to do this and we'll talk about that later. Yeah, but I go through and I check my pricing and I check comps on things I have listed every month. And that is how I'm able to sell through so much of my inventory because I'm making sure I am pricing competitively. Because the name of the game is I am a reseller. I need to be selling to be a reseller. If you are just buying and storing things, you are just a buyer. You're not selling anything. You're probably not making much money. So I like to turn the inventory as quickly as I can. So that's why I stay on top of my pricing. Mistake number 3, I'm scared to share this with you guys. Listen, let's not take offense to anything I say in this video. It's meant to be helpful. If your photos suck, nobody's gonna buy your stuff, you guys. I'm just being very real. The reselling market has become so competitive over these last couple of years. It's more popular and people are really stepping up their game. Like, if you talked to me 5 years ago, I used to say, you know what, you don't need a ring light or you don't need an artificial light source. You can just take your photos in front of a window or something and use your cell phone. I do really believe cell phones now, you guys, I'm filming this on a very expensive DSLR. You do not need that to take photos for your reselling business. You don't need artificial lighting, but you do need good lighting. So if you're gonna take photos in front of a window, make sure there is some lighting, make sure your photos are clear, make sure you clean your lens. I can't tell you how many photos I've looked at on Poshmark and eBay where you can just tell the person didn't clean their phone lens. Like, clean your lens. You need clear, crisp photos. And the listings that sell for like top dollar are the ones that have more photos. Both eBay and Poshmark have told me that personally when I've talked to people that work there. The listings that sell top dollar, like if you have a Gap sweatshirt and a Gap sweatshirt from 2 different sellers and it's the same shirt, that listing with 15 photos that are clear, that put the size, that have the care tag, sells for like $10 to $15 more. Or actually, I think it's 10 to 15% more than that listing that has like 5 photos. It's kind of blurry. It looks a little grainy. It's a little bit dark. You guys have seen those photos. You know what I'm talking about. You don't need any fancy tools. You don't need a fancy camera. Your cell phone in daylight can be fine, but just make sure your item is well lit. I go overboard with photos, you guys. I do at least 12 photos in my listing. And I'm actually gonna start incorporating videos for like my higher end items. You don't have to do that many, but try to take, you know, all the photos you need to take to represent the item. Also, you guys, titles matter. If you guys want a whole video on titles, let me know. I feel like I've become really good at titling my items, and just like my brain has become like a keyword bank. So I could do a whole video on titles, but just try to be as descriptive as possible. For example, if I was going to list this sweater, I would say soft, stretchy, heart print, multicolor, pink, blue, pearl button down sweater, something like that. I would probably go into more detail. I max out my titles, you guys. My virtual assistant maxes out the titles. We use all the characters we can because if someone is searching for something, you want your item to pop up. I love using descriptive words like soft or stretchy or if they're ribbed, anything like that. I love to put materials in, especially when the item is like 100% something, 100% cotton, 100% silk. I always put that stuff in the title. So I think I actually have a video on keywords already. If I can find it on my channel, I'll link it down below. Mistake number 4, buying the wrong inventory. I kind of hinted at this already, you guys, but man, like this is sad to admit, but the first 3 to 4 years, I was just buying everything. If it was cheap, I was buying it, you guys. I used to feel like cheap was such a bad word. I don't know. You know how some people don't like the word moist? Sorry if you don't. That's how cheap sounds to me. It sounds like a bad word, but I was buying it. If I could get it for a steal, like 17 years ago, you guys, I could go to the thrift store and pick something up for like $2. I was like, sure, I'll buy it. Was I checking sell-through rate? Absolutely not. Did I freaking open my flip phone or my Sidekick and see, hey, has this thing even sold in the last 20 years? No, I did not. And a lot of that stuff I ended up having to donate, you guys. I was just buying it because I could get it for a steal. And like I said, for the first couple of years, I was really just a buyer. I wasn't even a reseller because I was just buying and holding things that nobody wanted to buy. So I feel like this is an easy one to avoid, you guys. We're gonna check comps. I already showed you how to do that quickly. We're gonna check comps. If there's a brand that we don't know, we're definitely gonna check comps. We're gonna check sell-through rate, and we're going to buy the things that are going to sell. I hear a lot of resellers say, well, I want only things that have a super high sell-through rate, like 100% sell-through rate. I am not as strict with sell-through rate. If something has a 50% or above sell-through rate, I'm super happy because that means like if I check it on eBay, if it has a 50% sell-through rate, it has like a 50% chance of selling within the next 3 months. And unless something extreme happens, we probably will sell within the next 6 months. So because I'm taking clear photos, I'm checking comps and sell-through rate, and I'm doing good titles, right? All of the things that we just talked about, all these mistakes that I've made. So I feel like this is easy to avoid if you start with addressing the mistakes that we just talked about, number 1, 2, and 3. And then you're really gonna get the hang of, all right, well, I know that this Shein top's probably not gonna sell. Even if I can get it for 50 cents, it's probably never gonna sell. And if it does sell, I'll probably sell it for $5. So I'm gonna pass on that. Oh man, this is a big one, you guys. This is a big one. I'm gonna look at my notes so I cover everything I wanted to say here. Mistake number 5, not tracking profits and expenses. You guys, this is so important, especially in the era of a lot of us seeing like these resellers, buying huge pallets. We see them. You see me buying pallets. You see live sellers buying truckloads. You hear people like YouTubers like myself and other people. I haven't ever bought a truckload, but I made a video talking about I'm interested in it. You see people buying it and you're just like, oh my gosh, like they're probably selling so much. They're probably making so much. You guys, you don't know how much money they're spending and you don't know how much money they're making. And I made this mistake very early on in my reselling career, and I caught that quickly. Like this is probably one of the mistakes I fixed the quickest because I was like, oh no, this isn't right. Like I'm not tracking everything that I should be tracking because I would be spending, for example, especially early on, I would spend like $100 in a week on inventory, and then I would be like, oh wow, at the end of the month, I'm making so many sales. I've made so many sales this week. And then I would go through the numbers on what I spent for gas and what I had to pay for taxes. And I wasn't making any money, you guys. And that went on for far too long. So if you are new, if you are seasoned, I got a DM from one of you that's a live seller that spent like $50,000 on, how many pallets did she say it was? Like 10 pallets. She had some success selling quite a bit of pallets. Like I think she sold 5 pallets so far, 5 pallets worth of inventory, but she took out a loan to buy these pallets, and then she still hasn't made her profit yet, and it's like 7 months later. And she was like, I just really wasn't tracking my numbers. I was just seeing everybody buying pallets and doing liquidation, and she was basically asking if I wanted to buy her inventory from her. So I always, if you are an oldie but a goldie, you have heard me say, you guys, you need to know your numbers. Do not go into debt reselling. If you remember nothing else from this video, I am speaking from experience because early on, I would like take out like a small loan from a friend and be like, oh, can you just loan me 500 until I get paid? Can you loan me 500 bucks until I get paid next week? I know I'm gonna make it back on eBay. And here I am buying like Walmart brand things, not checking comps. And it took me so long to pay my friend back. And that was a friend. A lot of people I talk to are taking loans from banks, you guys, to buy pallets, to buy truckloads. If you can, try not, and I know you can, don't go into debt for reselling, you guys. Your reselling business is to make you money, not to put you in debt. Everything that glitters is not gold. I know we see these people on YouTube and Instagram and whatnot and Poshmark selling all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they must be making so much money, but you don't know what they're spending. You've got to get a hold of your numbers, you guys. I did this. It took me a while, but since early on, you guys, I have been on top of my numbers, and it is a game changer. I use a lot of help. One, I have an amazing CPA. If you can find a CPA in your area that is amazing, ask for referrals, do some research. I actually got referred to him by a coworker like 12 years ago, and he is so knowledgeable. It's very fascinating because he's so knowledgeable on people like myself that have W-2 full-time jobs, but because of where we live and there's a lot in Southern California and California in general, so a lot of people who have side hustles here. So he's also very knowledgeable on people that have S-corps and LLCs and people like real estate agents like myself that work for themselves. So I'm telling you, a great CPA could literally like make or break your business. I'm not even being dramatic there. Like, he has changed my life. Also, using the app QuickBooks, it's called QuickBooks Self-Employed. I should see if I have a referral link with them because they're not sponsored. I pay for it every month with my own money. It is amazing, you guys. It connects to my bank accounts and I can just say business expense. It's a click of a button, business expense, personal expense. And then at the end of the year, it gives me this amazing cheat sheet that I take to my CPA and he uses to do my taxes along with all my other tax documents. It's amazing. It'll even track your mileage. I just turn on like track trip and it'll say, hey, you've reached like the beach, Santa Monica. Was this a business trip? I'll say yes. And it'll say, here's your mileage. This is how much you can write off. It's amazing, you guys. I will link it down below if I have a referral code. I actually heard about it from Common Tags, Courtney here on YouTube years ago. And I was like, I need something like that because my CPA was telling me like, you need to get better. You're doing good about tracking your business expenses and everything, but he's like, there's so much more that we could be doing if you tracked all these little nuanced things. So I love that app. It'll really help you to get on top of your expenses, you guys. What else? That's just such a big one for me. Knowing your fees. You guys, you have to understand your selling fees so that when you're outsourcing and you need to make a quick decision, you know how much money you can make. Poshmark is easy. It's 20%. Boom. That's one thing I like about Poshmark. I don't like the fee, but I like that it's easy, simple. If I'm at the thrift store and something costs $10, and I look up comps and comps say it'll sell for $50, I know Poshmark would take 20%, boom, out of that 50%, right? And that would be what, $40? So I would make a net profit of $30 because you take away the 10 bucks, right? I hope I did that math right. But eBay can be a little more tricky because eBay, you can do promoted listings. You may not do promoted listings. So I actually save the eBay calculator on my phone. It's free. I save the link in my bookmarks and I use it all the time. Remember to link it. If I ever say, you guys, oh, I'll link this video or I'll link that, I'll link this, and I don't link it, just ask me in the comments. And then, because I look at all your comments and then it will remind me, hey, I need to link that. So, because in the last video, the eBay, what was that video called? Somebody's calling me. eBay suspension video. I think I said I would link the authentication website that I use and I forgot to link it. And like 2 of you were like, hey, where's the authentication link? And then it reminded me, oh yeah. And so I gave you guys the link. So please let me know, friends. And the last thing I'll say in regards to expenses and money, death piles. You know, that's the pile of stuff. I'm looking at some in my office that we have that is not listed. I like to call them the money pile. It's a little bit of a spin on it. It does like a mind trick for me. If it's sitting there and it's not listed, it's just money sitting there. That is your money that is sitting there that you need to put in your bank account. So that's how I look at it, and it motivates me to get it listed, especially when I first started. I'm not gonna lie, even right now, like looking around my office, I probably have about 60 to 100 items that need to be listed, but that's not a big deal for me. It's the weekend. I'm filming this on Valentine's Day. I tried to put like a Valentine's Day themed frame up. Happy Valentine's Day. It's the weekend. Today's Friday, so on the weekends is when I really ramp up my listings, my virtual assistant and I. On the weekends, we usually push out like 200 listings on the weekend to get them like all drafted and ready for next week, and they go up during the weekend. Like we're currently working ahead. So things that are going up today, tomorrow, and Sunday were all listed last week. So all of this stuff that's in my office right now will be listed within the next couple of days. So if I have a friend that has a money pile that has 600 items in it. And I'm like, girl, that is just money sitting in your storage unit. I offered to help her photograph, so we're gonna have like a photographing party. She's gonna come over. I'm gonna like show her some photographing tips on how I photograph really fast. And we're just gonna knock it out, and I'm gonna help her too. So those are my 5 mistakes, friends. Hopefully you found some of these helpful. Like I said, if you're in the group, this will be like in a cute little ebook format, and that'll be in the Discord for you guys. And that's it. If you care to share any of your reselling mistakes you've made, feel free. You don't have to. If you do, feel free to leave them down below. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. Don't forget to subscribe. You guys, we are so close to 20,000 subscribers. I had the goal of hitting 20,000 before the end of 2024, but I really slacked off on my uploads. But I'm back, friends. I am back. I'm back to uploading multiple times a week. I am back to going live multiple times a week. So click down below. There's a free Bolo ebook in the description box, my referral link for Vendu's there, and then also my next upcoming live sale. Done filming a ThredUp, what is it called? A ThredUp Rescue DIY denim box for the group. So if you're in the group, make sure to check that out. I asked if they wanted to see an unboxing and they said yes. So I think I'm going to switch a lot of my ThredUp unboxings to there because a lot of us buy ThredUp rescue boxes. This one was pretty good, you guys. So yeah, check that out. And then this is, I know I was just talking about my death pile. This is all things that have been photographed that need to be listed. And this is part of the stuff that I said that's going to get listed this weekend. And then I have a ton of stuff on my clothing rack. So this is the main background I use for my live sales. I literally only use, oh, it looks so much better without the ring light. I only use this clothing rack for live sales, really, you guys. This is a very tiny office. If I had it my way, I would be able to collapse this thing because it just takes up a lot of space. I actually have two. Like back when I was doing huge live sales and I would do like 300 items in a live sale, I had 2 racks, plus I have a closet in here that I would use. But now that I'm just taking my time and ramping up, I got all this stuff on Amazon, you guys. I'll link it down below. And then I have had this walking pad since 2019, and that thing is still going strong. If I can find the exact one, I got it for a steal, you guys. These things can be oddly expensive, but this one was really not that bad, like more affordable than others. And it's lasted me 6 years. So I'll link that lamp, Amazon, these drawers, or I think these are really like TV stands or armoires, whatever, Amazon. So this is like my main, I use a lot of different backgrounds. I really make use of this office, you guys. I use the background behind me for live sales and filming, but this is like the main one I use. And I got some really cute stuff that I'm just gearing up for a really big live sale on Poshmark and whatnot. When I say big for me, because like you guys know, I'm trying to ramp back up and get back into it. So I'm probably going to have like 100 items, which I haven't done a 100 item live sale. Wow. In maybe like a year. So I will report back on how that goes. I've got a ton of boutique pieces. I really do like the American Eagle Airy stuff I got from Boutique by the Box. You guys know I have a code with them. It's the same as my YouTube channel. It's just NikkiBeautyBlis. And it gets you, I think, 10% off. Like this is an American Eagle. I got a ton of bras. I really like the Lulu stuff I got from them. Boutique pieces. And then like I have this Tahari dress that's new with the tags. This retails for $128. I can't for the life of me remember where I got this, you guys. I cannot remember. I just know, because all of this stuff is listed. I know my SKU says I paid $20 for it. I'm sorry, $10. My SKU says I paid $10. In my SKU, I will put the date I'm listing the item. I usually put where I got it and how much I paid. I always put how much I paid. But this SKU, for some reason, doesn't have where I bought it. It just says I paid $10. So yeah, that's the office right now. I'm not going to show you what's behind me because it looks crazy, you guys. It just, you don't want to see that. I've shown it to you many times, but if you're ever looking for something cute to put on your TV, a couple of people came to my live sale and they're like, oh, I love your picture. I was like, wow, so this is really doing the job. This is my TV, you guys. I just go to YouTube and I type in TV wall art and it makes your TV look like a picture frame. I even use some that like change every 10 minutes, which is really nice. But this one, like, it just looks so nice. And I thought it was perfect because today is Valentine's Day. And I have YouTube Premium, so no ads play. But I mean, if you don't have that, who cares? Just skip the ad. Nobody cares, you know? And it'll skip. Oh, ads don't skip, huh? You have to skip it. But you just skip it. Because somebody was saying they're going to have a dinner party. And she's like, oh, man, the ads are going to play. I'm like, girl, just skip it real quick. Nobody will notice. Nobody cares either. Only reason I pay for YouTube Premium is, you guys, because I got it right when they first launched it. So it's not... Like, I think now it's $13 a month. I think I'm grandfathered in at, like, I don't know. What is it? I have to look. Like 8 or 9? I don't know. But because I watch so much YouTube, it's so worth it. So, any hoozles. Oh, my gosh. I'm getting old. I just said any hoozles. Lord. I don't even think my mom says that. I think my great-grandma says that. Any hoozles. That's The Office.